Hello and welcome to this week's Capture the Flag walkthrough video. I'm Rushin from RootHack. First of all, I thank each and every one of you for the love and immense support on the recent CTF walkthroughs I posted. If you do like these videos, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel as it will help the channel grow and reach more people. Also, if you have any questions about anything related to InfoSec or any concerns about a specific video, make sure to drop a comment and I will get back to you on that. Alright, so in today's video, we are rooting the box called Sandworm by HackTheBox. So let me tell you a little bit about it. The Sandworm machine represents a medium difficulty level and it takes us through a distinct server-side template injection process, or as we call it SSTI. We will be using GPG encrypted keys and an unconventional privilege escalation technique. This technique requires horizontal movement between different users on the machine before obtaining escalated privileges to gain access to a root shell. There are so many interesting things and tools to play with, so without any further ado, let's dive in. Okay, first of all, I'm going to make a directory in my downloads folder and name it Sandworm, and I'm also going to make a text file so we can save a couple of notes. So for the moment, all I have to say right here is the target IP. Okay, we'll ping the target IP. That's reachable from our end. And now we will run the nmap scan on the target IP and see what are the open ports. So we have SSH open, which is good. We can utilize this later on. We do have port 80 open, which is HTTP running Nginx on Ubuntu. And it redirects to this domain so we can update our hosts file. Also, it attempts to obtain a SSL certificate right here. And the title, Secret Spy Agency, some other information are given here. So clearly we are dealing with a web service here because port 80 and 443 are open, which are running Nginx on Ubuntu. And obviously we are going to view the HTTP service using our web browser. And the apparent port 80 automatically redirects to port 443. To obtain the SSL certificate like I mentioned before. And because of that, we will focus our fuzzing efforts solely on this endpoint. So first of all, we'll update our host file. And what was it? ssa.htb? Yeah, I believe so. Okay, the title says Secret Spy Agency, just like we saw before. And we have home, about, and contact. Experience in SSA. Alright, so it says it's powered by Flask. This is a good hint that we can probably later on use. So before we explore any further on this website, I'm going to run a directory search in the background and see if there are any hidden directories that we can get a hold of. For that, I'm going to use directory search. URL and the word list I'll be utilizing today is let's actually locate to that first. Sure. We'll do Durbuster. And we can use lowercase medium text. I think that would be great. Yeah, that should be it. We'll run this in the background while exploring further. Nothing much on the about page. We'll go to contact. Submit tips, speak up, make a difference. Do you have a lead that could help us? Submit a PGP encrypted tip here and we'll get back to you. We can enter an encrypted text. Don't know how to use PGP? Check out our guide. Okay, PGP encryption demonstration. Practice by importing our public key and encrypting, signing and verifying messages. There's a field to encrypt, to enter the encrypted text, to reveal the decrypted message, and to enter a public key and encrypt the message, to enter the public key and sign text and verify your signature. When verifying a message, you should see something along the lines of good signature from this. We can already see a username, Atlas, and a key ID. And let's check out this public key. Enter it here. Encrypt the message. We have to enter the encrypted message, the text here, decrypt it. This is an encrypted message from SSA, official PGP key of the secret spy agency. From Atlas. If you can read this, it means you successfully used your private PGP key to decrypt a message meant for you and only you. Congratulations, feel free to keep practicing and make sure you also know how to encrypt, sign and verify messages to make your repertoire complete. So just bringing your attention to right here. Since Flask utilizes templates to display success or failure messages just like this one, for the signature part, we have an opportunity to exploit server-side template injection, or SSTI for short, by crafting a malicious payload. Now, server-side template injection occurs when there is a possibility to use native template syntax to inject a malicious payload into a template, which is then executed on the server side. So what I'm thinking is we can search for Flask exploits. We'll go to exploit notes. So it seems like it's using Jinja 2 engine. And there we go. Just like I said, server-side template injection is a possibility to exploit this. It says sometimes websites may filter specific characters. If so, URL encode the payload or convert to hex. In addition, it's recommended to send requests using Burp Suite because web browsers automatically update the payload. First, try below payloads. Oh, okay, we have an opportunity to input a reverse shell as well. Alternatively, we can create a shell script to reverse shell, then execute it in the server side. Alright, so many good stuff in here. Actually, the directory search is running on the background, so let's check it out. So far we have admin, PGP, we checked it out. Logout, login, about, contact. We'll check the admin page. Actually, we'll use this tab. Just a generic username and password login. Nothing much. If we view the source file, bootstrap icons, responsive, navigation bars, page content. Yeah, nothing much that we can do here. That's totally fine. So if we head back to the exploit notes, like they say, the simplest initial approach is to try fuzzing the template by injecting like a sequence of special characters, and these can be like something commonly used in template expressions. So one thing to note here is if the response contains the number 49, then it indicates the template engine is vulnerable to server-side template injection. Then we can use the vulnerability to inject arbitrary code into the template, which can then be executed by the server after clicking on verify signature. Also, you should note that number 49 can also be used to identify the specific template engine in use. So in our case, we were able to identify right away that this is running on Jinja 2. And for example, Jinja 2 evaluates expressions using Python syntax, while an engine like Twig evaluates expressions using PHP syntax. So first of all, we'll try a simple payload just like this one. And to do that, we'll generate the PGP keys first of all. For the real name section, we will include a multiplication just like this. Email address, we have to stick to the email address format, t@t.com. So in case the real name section does not work, we will try it with the email later on. Passphrase. Insecure one, take this one anyway. Now on to creating the public key. Email address was t&t.com. Output this to public key .ac, I think that's the format. Then we'll create the payload. Test. And finally the clear sign, clear signature actually. Output this to signed message.ac to payload.txt. We have our payload.txt, public key, and signed message. We'll first check the public key. Looks good, and signed key. Let's go back to the page. We have to enter the public key first. From top to bottom. Then the signed text. clicking on verify signature. Alright, so in here it says the signature is valid. This is a sign that it is using Jinja 2 new sig parameter. And what we are looking for mainly here is this number 49 that confirms this is a SSTI. Alright, so we'll go back and delete the keys that we created and recreate new keys so that we can actually gain access to this machine. So what I'm going to do is delete, first of all, list the keys. Alright, so tnt.com and done. And then if we do list keys again, yeah, cool, that's done. Let's go back to the site, and we were reading in this reverse shell section. We can use a filter bypass using base64 encode. This is the echo section that is being encoded. This is the section that is being encoded to base64, and it is being decoded by base64 into interactive bash. So we can insert this in the real name field this time and hope that it will work. So this is what we are going to insert into this section that is being encoded. So we'll copy these two codes into our notes. So what is my IP address? Let's update this information here. We will use port 9001 for this one, and we are going to echo this whole string into base 64. There we go. This is the string we are looking for. We'll go back into our notes, paste it here, and basically replace this section right here. And now we are going to regenerate the keys. This time we are going to use this particular string. Email address, we can use the same thing, t@t.com. Okay. Passphrase, we'll do testing at 1 2 3. Then we'll do the export. Into public key.ase. And we'll create another payload. This is going to be a text file. Final command GPG clear signature. Message.ase into payload.txt. And we are going to set up a netcat listener. The port we used was 9001 on the payload. Public key and signed message. Listening on port 9001. Clicked on verify signature. And we have a reverse shell just like that. On the reverse shell, we'll type print working directory. We are currently here. If we change the directory, we have .ssh, profile, local. Now I already went through all these directories you are seeing right here, and to make this walkthrough a little bit easier, I'm going to tell you where we can find our next clue. We'll go to config and now this is the file we are looking for, admin.json. We will cat this file, and if you watch close, we have a authentication section with a password and a username. The username is silent observer. Now weirdly, in admin.json file, the password and the username both are visible, so we can use this to our advantage to SSH into the machine. We'll give it a shot and see if it's going to work. First of all, I'm going to go to my notes one more time and save this information. Now we'll try SSH into this username at the domain name was ssa.htb. Password. There we go. We are in using SSH. If we do ls, we can see user.txt, and this should be the first flag that you are looking for, user.txt. Alright, step number 2 or flag number 2 is to get the root flag, and this is where it's get interesting, complicated and fun at the same time. Now on this point onwards, we are going to use a tool called pspy. So let me tell you what pspy is. It is a command line tool designed to snoop on processors without the need for root permissions, and this tool will allow us to see commands run by other users. It shows us the cron jobs and etc., and it will show us as they execute. And this is a great tool for enumerating Linux systems, especially in like CTF environments. You can easily find this on GitHub. Simply search for pspy on Google. This should be the site. You can read through this file and learn everything that it can do. Going back to the terminal right here, my file is located in the Sandworm directory or the folder. So I'm going to host a simple Python 3 server, so we can download that into the machine that we are in. On the target machine, let's do LSA. We can create a temporary directory called .tmp. We'll change our location there, and we'll use wget command to download the file. My local machine IP was 10.10.16.33, and The port number we are using is 8000. File name is this right here. We'll give execution privileges. And there is nothing left but to do is execution. Okay, I stopped the process halfway through, and this is what it looks like. Now you can observe these logs and come to a conclusion, but I found what I'm looking for already. So I want you to pay attention to this line right here. Now, here's the cool thing about this. Now, this command was executed on this particular day at this particular time. This command is basically changes the directory to this right here. And then it runs this command to print the letter E to the console, and this section runs the rest of the command with elevated privileges as the user atlas. And the command that is being run here is to run the cargo package manager in offline mode. So in simple terms, this command is being executed by the user atlas with elevated privileges. Now, this seems to be like a cron job, and let me tell you what a cron job is if you're not aware of it. A cron job is a task that is somewhat scheduled to run at a predefined time or on a recurring basis on a Unix-like operating system, just like Linux or iOS. Cron jobs are used to automate tasks that would otherwise be performed manually. For example, tasks like running backups, sending emails, or monitoring system performance. So we do have a path that we can finally get into and see what's in it. Again, I am taking you directly to the place without wasting any time, because otherwise this video will be longer. We will be going to target, debug, we have a file called tipnet.d. If we cat this, we can see there are two files written in Rust, main.rs and lib.rs. So we'll check what are the permissions available for these two files. Alright, so in this directory we can see this particular Rust file or the Rust script can be modified because it has the permissions. And by editing and compiling this script, we can leverage the cron job to execute it within the context of the Atlas user. And this will hopefully grant us a functional shell with the privileges of the Atlas user. That is what we're aiming for. But we'll check out the second file and see if there are any permissions there. And yeah, it does not. So we'll mess with this file. Okay, we are looking at a reverse shell written in rust.rs, right? You can find this on GitHub gist. This is the URL, and all you have to do is download the zip file and extract it. I'm going to do the same, download this. It won't take that long. Let's unzip this file. We'll edit out this comment. So if we cat this file, you can see the format, right? This is written in Rust. So in our file, we should follow the same. And in this line, we have to enter our local machine IP and the port number that we are trying to connect to. We'll use port number 9002. Yeah, let's go with that. We are going back to the target machine and we'll navigate to the folder where it was located. We'll remove this file because otherwise it will make some complications. And in here, we will rename this file to lib.rs. And we are going to set up a HTTP server again once more and download that file into that particular folder that we were in. Using wget command just like before. Okay, so now we are going to set up a netcat listener again on our local machine and execute the downloaded file on the target machine and see if it's going to give a response back. We used port 9002 and we'll do cat and after a while, if you can see, it responded back to us and we do have access to the Atlas user on the reverse shell. Now with a fully functional shell, it's time to re-enumerate and explore the machine with our newfound user privileges. Atlas is the username. Same stuff. Now our intention here is to use SSH one more time with the user Atlas right here to get into the machine, so we could execute commands although the account is not still root. And to do that on my local machine, I'm going to navigate to my SSH folder. I'm using SSH-keygen. You can just keep pressing enter, enter, and you will have id_rsa and rsa.pub. We are going to set up a Python 3 server one more time here so we can host these files to download to the reverse shell. In the machine, we are going to navigate to .ssh and we are using wget one more time. Port number 8000. File name is id_rsa. Second file name is id_rsa.pub. Cool, the two files are there. And now our attempt here is to SSH into Atlas. Okay, so small hiccup, I totally forgot to do one thing here. We have to move the id_rsa.pub file into authorized keys. So let's do that. Underscore keys. Now it's done. Now we should be able to SSH into Atlas. Command is SSH Atlas at ssa.htb-i id underscore RSA. And just like that, we are in. Okay, now that we're using Atlas, the user, which has privileges to execute certain commands with root privileges, we are going to use something like pspy before, but I love this tool even better. It's called linpeace, Linux Privilege Escalation Awesome Script. Although this is a command line tool, this is way more pleasing to the eye because it's color coordinated and there are so many sections that we can refer to. You can come to this GitHub page and download the file, the latest release. I already have this in my local machine, so we are going to use wget to download that particular linepiece.shell file into the target machine. So back in my terminal, on this folder, you can see this is the file. Host the Python 3 server again. We are using the HTTP server quite a lot today. We are going to give executing privileges to the downloaded file and execute it. You can see how colorful and pretty this is, right? Okay, so this is what it looks like basically. There are so many information, right? So many that we can look into. It looks through every single thing to find out what are the privilege escalation loopholes in any target Linux system. I stopped this halfway through because I want you to pay attention to this section. Binary processes permissions. None, root, and not belonging to current user. So right here. Now file jail, right? This file can be read by the owner, which is root, and the group jailer, and also other users. And this file can be written too by the owner, which is root, and the group jailer. The file has the SUID bit set. This means that the file will be executed with the privileges of the owner, which is root, when it is run by any user. The file can be executed by the owner, which is root again, or the group, which is jailer, or by other users. So this is a potential security risk because it allows any user to execute the file with the privileges of root. Now we have some content here, actually a site. We can go here and check it out. It's from Hacktricks. Since we are messing with fire jail, let's look up for any exploits that's available. If you look it up, you will find another GitHub page. This should be the link, and the exploit is in Python. So just like before, we downloaded the Rust file. We'll download the zip. Okay, I have the exploit file right here, .py. Host the Python server one more time. We'll go here. Let's go to the SSH directory. And we'll use wget. Exploit.python. Now we'll give executing privileges just like before. and execute this. It says you can now run firejail this command. I'm going to copy it right now. In another terminal to obtain a shell via sudo. This command should grant you a root shell. We'll give it a shot then. Exiting this. We'll go to our SSH folder on our local machine. SSH into Atlas one more time. SSA.htb. We are using RSA. And we are going to execute this command, firejail. It says changing root to this. Okay, cool. The next command we are supposed to use is sudo su hyphen. Atlas is not in the sudo file. This incident will be reported. Instead we'll try sudo hyphen. And there we go. We have root now. Who am I? Root. ls. We have root.txt, guys. And there you go. That's the root flag that we are looking for. So like I said before, this is an interesting machine, especially after you get your hands on the user flag. From that point onwards, escalating privileges horizontally is quite interesting. First we came across a user called Silent Observer, then we found Atlas, then we got to root. So I would say we spent about maybe 65% to 70% of the time mainly on escalating privileges. In a real life scenario, in a real context, this can happen quite often. Personally for me, this box is super fun because I came across two interesting command line tools that is going to help in CTF challenges. Definitely I'll be using them in the future, no doubt. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and do comment what you think. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section as well. I'll catch you guys in a future video. Until then, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Peace.